Should we roll it into the F1?
Yeah, just some motorsports, and we'll probably cover this pretty quickly. I don't want to say this race was a bit of a non-event, but it was not as hotly contested as the last one. So Lewis Hamilton starts second, ends up winning the Portuguese GP. Verstappen was second, and Bottas was third. It was the exact same podium as race one. Our boy Danny Rick finished 9th after starting 16th, so it was a good kind of outcome for him. Still trying to learn that car.
Yeah, I think they screwed up the qualifying a little bit.
Yeah,
came out too late.
And then during the race, he screwed up his pit stop. He missed the mark by a good 12 inches. Yeah. There was an early crash by Kimi Räikkönen in this, which meant the race kind of had to restart early on. Tyre strategy kind of played a part in this, but otherwise the race went very much to script. The top two teams dominated throughout. It's Red Bull and Mercedes at this point trying to fight out this championship. Verstappen racing very, very well, also very quick, but Hamilton's just a different beast at this point, and is currently on track to beat to take sole ownership of the most title championships by an F1 driver. It was good also to see Alonso finish in 8th position.
First season back
in the top grade. He's not with, is it Alpine?
Yep.
Alpine. Actually, that's how it's out. Alpine.
Yes.
We had a few people in the comments really, really hammering us on the pronunciation.
Yeah, well, if you've heard me speak, it's probably not a good thing.
Just always assume it's wrong.
Yeah. So I don't want to say this race was uneventful. There's a lot of takeovers and moves that happened in the lower orders, but up the top end of the grid, it was very much as expected. So next race is this week. It's in Spain. That'll happen Sunday night for us. We'll see how that goes. And
how's Ricciardo going? How's our boy? Is he just going to forever be 6th or 7th? Is it just what he's going to
be? The main thing is he's got to get used to. He's just moved to McLaren. He's got to get used to that car. So that's probably the main thing that he needs to focus on, is getting used to that, changing the setup. He's given a lot of feedback back to the McLaren drivers, because I think Lando finished fourth.
Yep. Lando Calrissian.
Which is he finished 4th the previous week as well.
Yeah, so Lando's been running pretty good at the start of the season.
So the McLaren cars are up there. They've got the ability. It's just they got to get the right kind of mix for Ricciardo to get up.
If you'd put Ricciardo in Hamilton's car,
you put anyone.
Well, we saw
any of the top 10 drivers in Ricciardo's car, Hamilton's car, and
so where did Russell finish in this race? So George Russell, as an example, got Hamilton's seat last year because of COVID, because Hamilton had to sit out one race. He would have won that race, but I think he crashed out. No, they had a poor pit strategy which pushed him all the way back.
Yeah.
But as an example, Russell was...
He finished 11th.
Finished 11th. So the 11th driver in Hamilton's car was going to win a race in Bahrain last year.
Yeah. Well, with Williams, they were... Last season, they were at the back of the pack, 19th, 20th, most races. And then the one race he gets into Hamilton's car and he's right up there.
Having said that, Russell is an excellent driver and will probably replace Lewis when he retires. And we are talking about the 20 top racing drivers in the world. They're all excellent. It's putting their talents and their driving style together with the correct car at the right time as how you win championships. You saw it with Seb Vettel. He won 4 with Red Bull and he's moved around a couple of times and really hasn't sniffed the top 10, unfortunately for him. Since then,
he's a dick. Fuck him. Unfortunately, fuck Seb Vettel.
But it's a guy like Danny Rick. He has the talent. He can definitely win a world championship. It's just getting the setup all right, getting the car right, so that he can do that. Yeah. So we can see with Lando that it is a car that can challenge for those for podium positions. It's just putting it all together. So maybe the back end season, like this year's not Ricciardo's year, and unfortunately for him, he's getting older. So maybe next year he can tackle.
Well, we're all getting older, Sean.
Yes. True. The final bit of news is Grosjean's got a seat, so Roman Grosjean's not racing this season in F1, but they're letting him do
testing in France. So
testing in France, so he can get in Hamilton's car.
Yeah. So after his crash last season, the horrific fireball that happened at Bahrain, Toto Wolff said, "Look, once you're all good again, we don't want your F1 career to end on that note. Yeah, we'll let you come back." And he held his promise, and he's going to Toto's going to let Romain Grosjean essentially test.
Do some testing.
Hamilton's car,
leading up
at
to
the
this
Paris,
race.
Yeah, GP.
And because of course Grosjean being French, so it's in front, leading up to the Paris Grand Prix. Yeah, in France. That was empty.
Easy to do, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I did it a couple of weeks ago, so that's all right. So that's F1 for this week.